There you go, poses. There you go, poses. Do poses. That's what's up, yeah. That's Kevin Webb. Good job, man. Good job.
Production. And we will start by, as I hand the microphone down the line, tell us something about who you are, what your production was, and anything else related to that production that might you might want to introduce the audience to. And we'll start with Jeremy.
My name is Jeremy Smith. I'm the one behind Ken Folkhouse, Serving Pumpkins. And I'm sorry, this is Cohen Smith. He was the pet human. He was the acting talent. Let's give him a round of applause. But all right, as far as like the origin of it, I'm a pumpkin carver, a chainsaw carver, and every year I try to do a special pumpkin project. And last year I filmed a short film using pumpkins as puppets. And I try to make it as fun and entertaining as I could. This kid is still dancing. I don't know what kind of...
Like father, like son.
There you go. That's nice. They say he's topped up on spice, man. That's what it is.
Like Jackson, like Jeremy's son.
Start him out early.
All right, thank you, Jeremy. If you'll pass that down the line to the next director.
My name is Ian Bondurant. I did Alternative Fuel.
Well, that's fine. You can pass it down the line. We'll get to the actual Q&A about, what it was that inspired you to make each one of these films that you've done. And the next gentleman.
Yeah, I'm Kevin Webb, and I made the Odyssey of Eaton.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Hi, my name is Joe Yoon, and I did Our Job, and it was my first short film, and this is also my first film festival.
Wonderful. Well, tell you what, Joe, if you'll hold on to that microphone right there, we're gonna work the line back this way. The question for every one of you is, tell us about your first time. Let me specify that. Your first time when you got bitten by the bug to make films. Joe, if you'll start off.
The first time I got bitten by the bug to make a film was watching this one movie called End of Evangelion, and it was an animated film, and how it was kind of like set up to be like this kind of action giant robots, a lot of that kind of like schlocky entertainment. But then when the film keeps on going, it kind of slowly was not about the giant robots or about like this fluffy stuff. It was about the characters and their psyche, and like the visuals they were doing it was very psychedelic, and it was like weird, and it was nothing I ever seen before. And I was like, can animation do something more than just like this pure entertainment, but like tell an artist like expressing themselves through the characters and visuals? And it really like caught me off guard, and I really wanted to do something like that. This film was like an experiment for me first, so I haven't quite achieved what he did, but I hope to do so in the future.
Folks, this is part of the awesomeness of a film festival. See that enthusiasm in the first-time filmmaker's eyes. Thank you, Joe. Ian.
Kevin.
Sorry,
Yeah, it's okay.
Long weekend.
The question was, what inspired you to make the first
Well, tell us about your first time. What inspired you to become a filmmaker?
Probably Sidewalk Film Festival in Birmingham, growing up there, and they started that many years ago, but I went many years before I had made any films, and all the stuff I saw, I started thinking more and more I want to make stuff, and did that. Actually, do you mind, I wanted to speak a little on the musician who did the film. Do you mind if I do?
Please.
Or Kwani, would you like to speak on your dad? This is Cleve's daughter, and I just wanted her to tell everyone a little bit about her dad, who is really an incredible musician, who is the soundtrack to the animation I made.
Hi, I'm Kwani. My dad is so thrilled. He's 80 years old. He had some health problems, came home on hospice. Kevin did this film. My dad is doing much better. He got booted off hospice. This film has really helped him. It's really helped him a great deal, and we're just so excited that Kevin had the opportunity to spend that time with my dad. He played with Count Basie, Ramsey Lewis. He's been a musician. He's 80 for 65 years. I think he's Superman, and so I'm glad that Kevin had this opportunity.
The way you portrayed that film, he did look like Superman. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Ian, tell us about your first time.
I just started watching cartoons way too much, and kind of like Joe, I was fascinated by the power of them, what you could do, like the limits you could actually push through animation, and so it just inspired me to try to figure it out. So at 19, I made my first movie. I got lucky enough to get into my first festival, and just from there, I love doing it.
Thank you very much. And Jeremy, tell us about what you got bit by the bug. It's a bit like the dating game, isn't it, y'all?
So what?
It's a bit like the dating game, or the Newlywed game.
Okay, well, I used to always love movies. My dad used to take me and my brother to the movies, and it was always a special thing for us. It was a special bonding time, and we got to see some fantastic movies like Tank that we was talking about the other day. So good job, Dad.
Of the Georgia film?
But after a while, I started hating movies. Like they just became formulaic or something. They didn't entertain me, and it was kind of a dark period in my life. And eventually, I started experimenting with pumpkin films, if you would. The idea behind pumpkin, like you could carve a face into pumpkins, and then slap some arms and legs on them, and make them do whatever you want, right? And so it started out with this little tiny, like 4-second shot of an alien pumpkin shooting a laser beam out of his hand. And I didn't make any of that stuff move, but I noticed I was shooting a walk-around video of it. I shook the camera a lot, and that looked really cool on the screen. It looked like the energy thing was buzzing. So you slap some sound effects on that, and that is cinema. And it really kind of clicked. And basically, over the years, I've tried to get them more and more animated. Eventually, I do special pumpkin projects every year. In 2017, I did a very special pumpkin project, so special I can't even talk about it. But it did lead to doing kinfolk tales.
Excellent, excellent. What we're going to do is we're going to, now hold on to it, Jeremy, for a minute, because we're going to work back to the line. Just want to let you know, the award ceremony is going to be at the City Auditorium at 7 o'clock. So we're going to truncate this just a little bit. We're going to ask one more question and open up to at least a couple questions. And please, by all means, feel free to join us over at the auditorium at 7 o'clock. And the party, the after party, the premiere event of the Rome International Film Festival will be held at the Rome City Brewing Company at 9 o'clock. Is that right, Miss April? Yes. Excellent. So the next question is, you've all told us about your first time. Tell us about what possessed you to make this film. And before we go on, let me say that every one of these filmmakers here deserve special props. As Miss April and Mr. Seth let you know, we get hundreds of films on Film Freeway and these other venues that we have to sort through. It is an excruciating process to distill that down to a select few for us to screen at these film festivals. So every one of these films that was screened here this evening, sublime. Not just great, sublime. And we want to know, tell us what possessed you to do this particular project. Jeremy, I'll let you take it from here.
It all kind of goes back to Halloween, I think, a little bit. I wanted to kind of make a perennial video that people could watch on Halloween, maybe, and perhaps be entertained a little bit. I won't go as far as to be as ambitious as to say something like the Great Pumpkin, but probably the less than Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. I don't know, but I would like to.
The Great Pumpkin for our time, right?
I would like to play my note in the great song that is Halloween. So if that makes any sense at all.
Excellent. Ian.
It seemed kind of like a movie that needed to be made with all of the environmental struggles we have. A lot of times we don't think about the little things that we could do to like have less of an impact on the earth. So plus I just really wanted to make everybody uncomfortable for a minute.
You did. Thank you. Kevin, tell us about your film.
Let's see. I had done a more narrative-based animation before that, and I wanted to do some more things that had music and no dialogue, tell a story with no dialogue. So my next thought was, who does the music if I don't do it? And I grew up in Birmingham, and Cleve, I had seen him play a number of times, and started to look online about his music and learn more about him, and that inspired me that, man, if I can ask this guy if he does it, this would be great. And sure enough, he did it. And while I was making it, I basically tried to listen through Cleve's catalog, which is incredibly extensive. Like he was with the Ramsey Lewis Trio for 10 years, and they put out a lot of albums, a lot of great albums. And he was with the Count Basie Orchestra, and a lot of amazing music. He has solo albums that are just phenomenal. And while listening to the music, that's what inspired the art, and the animation came from that. So
I guess on that note, he would be one of the last surviving members of the Count Basie Orchestra?
Actually, I live in California, and I wish I had seen it earlier, but apparently they played, I think in Oakland, and I saw the night after, and I regret that I didn't see it earlier, but yes, surviving members, I believe, are continuing to play. Phenomenal group, of course.
Awesome. Thank you. Joe, tell us about what possessed you.
It was two things. One of them is I wanted to work with other people, with like my friends, to work on a project together, something that we can all enjoy. And the second part was I had this idea for the film after I lost this one competition in Skills USA, and I was already pumped before because I placed second in this other animation competition, and I was really excited about the Skills USA one, but I didn't I lost that one. But I thought about it, and I wanted to make kind of a character arc where a character loses and wins some, and I wanted to pass on the message in life that you don't always win, but people shouldn't give up, and that we have friends to help us through the way. And that was kind of the inspiration for that. But how I made the film was that I wanted my friends to also have their own input. So the vision of it was kind of loose, a little bit loose, and that was kind of the experimental part of it. And that's how it came to be.
Excellent, excellent. All right, Joe, if you'll hold on to that microphone, I'm going to ask a question. The First Lady of the Rome International Film Festival, Miss April, are you here? I think she might have gone to the auditorium. Miss Lauren, can you tell me what time it is? 6:53. All right, y'all. I imagine you all will be at the after party, correct? You feel free to join us. Rome City Brewing Company at 9 o'clock. They'll be open to questions at that point. Right now, 7 o'clock at the Rome City Auditorium for the Reckoning. But first, the award ceremony. Thank you very much, y'all. Let's give it up.